Hello students, let's get into our next topic. Idioms and phrases. Have you ever come across this term? I'm sure you would have come across many idioms and phrases, but it is just that you wouldn't have known that they are idioms and phrases, right? So idioms is nothing but a group of words, right? A group of words which do not carry the literal meaning of the words but have some other meaning. Confusing? Let me give an example. Break a leg. What does that mean? Before I'm going to give you the example, before I'm going to give the meaning of break a leg, I am going to give you an example. Right, so this is the example. Before he went on the stage, John told him to break a leg. Now, literal meaning, okay, before you go on the stage, break that person's leg. Does it mean that way? No, that's what your idioms are all about. Idioms are a group of words which do not have the exact literal meaning of the words, but have some other meanings. This is mainly used by the native speakers of the language to make your language more interesting. So before he went on the stage, John told him to break a leg. The actual meaning for breaking a leg is or best wishes or good luck, right? So instead of saying before he went on the stage, John told him good luck, we say before he went on the stage, John told him to break a leg, right? So that is the most interesting part of idioms and phrases. Remember, they don't mean the literal meaning of the words, okay? It is not the literal meaning of the words, but they are presented in some other way to make the language more interesting. So now in this session, we are going to see or come across a few idioms which are constantly being used or that which are being asked in a lot of competitive examinations and their meanings. Let's get into idioms and phrases and let's deal with some more examples or most commonly or most frequently used or questioned idioms in the competitive examinations, okay? So this is all walks of life. What does it mean, all walks of life? Literal meaning, walking all through your life? No, all walks of life means people from different social and economic background or economic groups. So I can give an example. People from all walks of life attended the seminar, right? So that means irrespective of the social and economic background or irrespective of the social and economic group, right? Let's get into the next idiom. At the drop of a hat. Now, as I said, you should not go for the exact meaning. If you go for the exact meaning, it's like taking your hat and dropping it down. But that isn't the meaning for this idiom. At the drop of a hat means immediately. Maybe I can say, let me give an example. If you ask Rajiv to play the guitar, he will do it at the drop of the hat, which means he's ready to do it. He's willing to do it immediately, right? Next idiom. At the end of the day. That doesn't mean any evening or night. At the end of the day means finally. Okay, so let me give an example. At the end of the day, the rich get into better colleges. So that doesn't mean every evening the rich people get into colleges, okay? That means that finally the rich people are able to afford well-renowned colleges, right? The next idiom. Bag of bones. Now, what does that mean? A bag with bones? No, you refer this to a skinny person. Maybe any old person or a skinny person. I can say my grandfather looks like a bag of bones because he's 75, right? So that means he's become skinny. He's lost weight or he's thin, right? So it can be of any idea, right? Next idiom would be bark up the wrong tree, which means not climbing up any tree, okay? It means making a wrong decision. Bark up the wrong tree means making a wrong decision. If you are going to asking me, if you're going to ask me one example for this, I would say he had barked up the wrong tree by making friends with her. Right? Which means what? He has made a wrong decision by being friends with her. Next. Butterflies in one's stomach. Right. Do we have butterflies in our stomach? Is that what this idiom is trying to say? Butterflies in one's stomach means feeling nervous or anxious. When you're nervous or when you're anxious, that situation is referred to as butterflies in one's stomach. You can say, I had butterflies in my stomach when I went for the interview, right? That makes you more anxious. Next example. Carve out a niche. What is carving out a niche? You create space for any individual talent, all right? Carving up a niche. What's a niche? A niche is usually a wall or a covering, right? So don't go for the exact meaning here. Carve out a niche means creating a special for an individual talent. If I can explain this with an example, I can say Ankita has carved out a niche as a photographer, which means what? She has carved out, she has given a beautiful space, a display for her photographic talents. Next. Get down to business. That means to start or to begin. I can say get down to business right away. That means start your work immediately. Why do you want to delay? Next idiom. Go haywire. That means to go wrong. Shall I give an example stating the traffic went haywire because the signals were not working, right? So the traffic has gone completely out of control, completely wrong because the signals were not working. Let me give another example. Not example, let us go to the next idiom. Zip your lip. Are you looking for a zip here? No, now zip your lip. We do not have a zip here, but that means zip it up. Stop talking or close your mouth or be quiet. You would have heard your teachers use this phrase or this idiom many times in the class. Zip it up. That means close your mouth. Next. Back to square one. Back to square one. What square are we talking about here? Right. Back to square one means starting all over. Or back to the starting point. Right? Back to square one is coming back to the starting point. Starting all over. Right? Let me give an example. John was a successful businessman, but he came back to square one after investing in bad stocks. Which means what? He had invested all his money in bad stocks and finally he has come back to square one. I hope I had given a clear picture of a few idioms which are used in our daily life. As I said, there are hundreds and hundreds of idioms which you will master only with practice. We were dealing with the idioms and phrases, and we had already seen a few idioms which are being used in our daily life, right? Some more idioms, right? Out of the blue. Now this idiom doesn't have anything to do with the color blue, right? The out of the blue means unexpectedly. For example, I can say, you know what? John called me out of the blue, which means unexpectedly. I never expected his call. So John called me out of the blue. burn the midnight oil. That means, burning the oil, that means the whole night. Being awake the whole night or being awake in the wee hours of the day, right? So it can be either for, I can say John was studying for the examinations at the burn of the midnight oil or burning the midnight oil, which means the entire night he was sitting and studying for the examinations. So that doesn't mean burn of the midnight oil refers only with studying or reading or writing. It can be with having fun. For example, I can say Peter was burning the midnight oil, so he looks tired. Maybe he was partying the whole night. So it can be anything, right? The next idiom, bury the hatchet. Now this means ending a quarrel or ending a fight. End a fight. Bury the hatchet. Come on, be friends. End the quarrel. Be friends. On cloud 9. I'm sure you all know the meaning for this idiom because this is one of the most commonly used idiom in the English language. On cloud 9 means not just happy, it means extremely happy. He was on cloud 9 when he got his results. Rain or shine, which means all the time. That shop is open in rain or shine, which means it is open always, all the time. Be all ears, which means being attentive or listening carefully or listening eagerly, right? Be all ears in the classroom. You are expected to be all ears, right? All hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. What does that mean? Hell breaking into pieces? Definitely not. That means sudden chaos or uproar. All hell broke loose after his performance, which means there was sudden uproar and people started to appreciate him. There was complete chaos when the performance got over. Next idiom. Break the ice. That means to do or say something to relieve tension. Let me give an example for break the ice. She broke the ice in the meeting, which means when people were all tensed sitting for the meeting, she broke the ice. Next. A red letter day, which means it doesn't have anything to do with the color red, okay? a red letter day means a memorable day. The day out with my friends was a red letter day. That is the example which you can take for this idiom. Spill the beans, which means, even this I think you would have come across because it's a famous idiom. Spilling the bean is revealing a secret. It's to reveal a secret. The criminal spilled the beans to the police, which means finally he had revealed the secret, right? So these are some other or few other idioms which are used in our daily life. Now we are going to see few exercises or few sentences or few questions or how idioms can be asked as questions in competitive examinations.